Welcome to the Fall Report. We're checking in here at the end of June. We've been doing a lot of fishing this month. My daughter Addison and oldest daughter's boyfriend Luke has been doing quite a bit of fishing with his friends and fishing some tournaments. So it's been a fun month. We'll get them in here and hear from them. I'll get to ask them some questions today. But from my point of view, it's been a fun month because I've been out with my kids a bunch. We've kind of gone back to basics, just using worms, some minnows, live bait. We've caught a lot of fish, and we've caught a lot of different kinds of fish. So it's been a good time. But let's hear from Addi and Luke. Come on in, guys. All right. So we're the last day of June. It's been, I think, an eventful month. We've done a lot of fishing. Addi, I know we've fished a lot together. And Luke, you fished a lot with your friends. Addi, you go first. Tell me what the highlights have been so far for you this month.
When Zach caught the sturgeon.
Yes, so Zach caught a sturgeon.
And just going out with my family and catching fish and with my friends.
Yep. So you've been bringing a friend out quite a bit. Do you want to talk about bringing your friends out? And they don't usually go fishing, do they?
No, and it was really exciting seeing them catch fish because it was we've never gone fishing together, so it was pretty fun.
Cool. What's the biggest fish you caught this month?
I don't know. Whatever I caught yesterday.
Probably one of them smallmouth, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell everybody how you caught that smallmouth.
Well,
you must have got a bite that wasn't the smallmouth.
Yeah, I caught a goby, and then that smallmouth tried to eat the goby, and I caught them both.
Yep. So yes, hook the goby and then reeling it in. The smallmouth hit the goby, and you end up with two fish, one hook. So yeah, that was fun. Luke, how about you? How's the fishing been for you? I know you're a bass guy, so
yeah. I fished 3 or 4 tournaments. I'm in one of the leagues that's a local league. So I've been fishing all over the place, mostly just Seneca River. All different sections in Seneca River. Bass fishing's been pretty good. I mean, fish are still pretty skinny. It's been really hot. Water's 80 degrees in the river still, so super warm. It's been a struggle trying to find them in the shallow water. So I've been kind of resorting to going offshore a little bit, just kind of sticking to what I know. And I fish with my buddy John a lot. He's taught me pretty much everything I know about bass fishing. So sticking with him and, just trying out new stuff, stuff that works to what I'm usually fishing. Just kind of trying to find that same stuff in different areas, doing all that, figuring out what the fish want. I feel like at the end of the day, it's just figuring out what they want based on the circumstances. Been battling the heat, and then in our tournament last weekend, it was 25 mile per hour winds the whole day, so the trolling motor was struggling. It's been a struggle. We always get thrown with some sort of storm if it's raining or wicked windy, so it's been good though. I mean, caught a lot of fish. I think we placed 5th in the Cross Lake tournament. My buddy John we fished separately for another local tournament, and he actually won. We fished a tournament, 3 Rivers, and out of near Onondaga Lake. We did pretty well in that lake. We ended up with 17 pounds, so that was a good day. But winner still had 22. So there are a lot of big fish been getting caught, but it's been a grind for sure, figuring out what they want, especially dead heat of summer.
So you mentioned your friend John. I know Addi's got some opinions on how you really catch your fish.
Yeah.
Addi, you want to share that with everybody?
We always fight about how he can't catch a fish unless he's with somebody.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just like an ongoing joke that we have.
We got some beef, yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, these two are constantly in text battles while we're fishing over. When Addie's catching fish, she's giving Luke crap about only catching fish when he's with John. But do you think so? I know you've been fishing for several years, and I grew up fishing this same area. Do you think that the introduction of gobies to the system here has been beneficial for the bass?
No.
No?
No. I think the goby, I think more than less they eat a lot of panfish eggs, just because there's more of them, I guess. But I feel like it's a good food source for, like, obviously the one Addie's goby the other day. I think it's a good food source for them, but I think it's also a little detrimental to them because they get in there and they eat their eggs. And I would say in years past, I haven't really seen a change in the amount of fish we're catching. I feel like we're always catching fish, but I would say maybe size-wise, we're seeing bigger fish. So I guess you could say, on the other hand, that goby is a good food supply for them, making them fatter. So right now it's just after post-spawn and the water's so hot, they're just really lethargic and hanging out. They're pretty skinny still, but some of the smallmouth we caught are starting to fatten up because more or less they're in the deeper water. Obviously, Addie's been catching them in the deeper water. So,
Yeah, Addie, talk a little bit about just how we've been fishing. Like, what are we doing?
We're going to like a spot that we always go to, and we're kind of just using like worms or minnows. I usually use the worms, and kind of just dropping it like all the way to the bottom and seeing what we can catch. But we usually just catch the gobies until we get like the perfect time.
big bite.
Yep.
Because there's a specific time that they're usually good.
Yep. So we go to a similar spot a lot of times because there's structure there.
Yep.
And the fish hang out at the structure. And then a lot of times we go out after I get out of work. So it's usually still pretty hot. But the fish tend not to really bite until about an hour before dark, right? It gets cooled off a little bit, and we start catching bigger fish then. But yes, we do feed a lot of worms to gobies.
This spot produces some weird fish too.
Yeah, I was just gonna say we've seen a lot of variety in the fish that we've caught this year, and I guess typically my style of fishing, I like to troll, and we're usually trolling for walleye, or we're trolling for salmon or lakers. Early in the year, I love perch fishing, catch a lot of perch, and that's similar style of fishing, I guess, than we're doing now. But that whole going back to just let's put some worms on the hook and throw them out there and kind of bottom fish, stationary, has been fun. And we've caught all the different kinds of fish we've caught.
Yeah, we've got like a bunch of different types of catfish, and we've caught, well, obviously the gobies and smallmouth,
yeah,
and perch and silver bass and like
Sunfish, bluegill.
yeah. We keep catching double sunfish.
Yeah, Addie likes to rock the 2-hook method. So she goes down and runs one hook off, I don't know, about 18 inches up, then another hook about a foot down, and then 6 more inches down to a sinker, and that's her go-to rig. And then, do you want to talk about the Addie method of fishing? Share a little secret?
I drop it all the way down to the bottom and then reel up very slowly, and usually it bites and it works.
Yeah, she tends to cast out, and she just reels real slow, and she catches more fish than any of us. So
yeah.
It works. The Addi method works. I guess, Luke, before you guys got on the bass, anything like, were you guys able to get in on the pike action? Like, I know Seneca River has a lot of pike, even walleye,
Yep.
like there in May.
Yeah. I would say pre-spawn and during the spawn, I would say, I mean, we caught probably a dozen big northern pike. Yeah, a couple 40-inch plus. I actually caught one in April trout fishing in one of the local creeks and caught a pike.
Weird.
Very weird. I guess not weird though. They spawn in creeks, but still. Yeah, we caught a bunch of northerns. Right now it's crazy too because we're seeing all the gar in the shallow water, especially around the chestnut areas. They're just loaded with long-nosed gar. They don't really like to bite anything though. They're kinda picky.
So talk about that a little bit. That's something that the water chestnuts are relatively new to our ecosystem in the Seneca River area.
Yep.
Not great from a boater's perspective, but have you guys figured out, like, are you fish hanging in there? Are you able to catch fish off them? Like,
yeah, I would say, obviously boaters hate them. People who own dock slips hate them because they're just a nuisance and they're sharp. They hurt when you step on them. They're not great. And I think it's like one chestnut pod produces 7 seeds. So they're rapidly growing, which I know the state, especially, I mean, we live on Cross Lake, so the state has been doing the chestnut pulling program. They have the barges come out and do it, but they can't keep up, unfortunately. But I think it holds fish, especially in the deeper spots, that 7 to 10 foot range with the chestnuts. It definitely holds some fish. They've a lot of spots that we fish pre-spawn. It has, good grass in there, and bass typically like hydrilla and milfoil and some other types of grass. But once those chestnuts come in, it kind of just blows that out. So I think it has some pros and some cons to the chestnuts out there.
Yeah. So going back to earlier when you were talking about you're kind of being sly on the different methods you're using, and but are you guys? I know you're probably not intentionally doing that, but like just it sounds like you guys are being flexible, trying a lot of different methods. Different things are working different days. Yep. But any advice, I guess, in any kind of, maybe there's some newer lures you guys are trying out that you like, as when I don't bass fish really at all anymore, but I used to love going out in the morning or late in the evening when the water was still and fishing top water. Is that still?
Yeah, top water bite's still fantastic. I mean, we've been trying stuff, when it's really slow and you can't get them to bite. I mean, we try the finesse route a lot, just typical stick baits or jigging or whatever. But a lot of times, like in the middle of the day, if it's cloudy, you can fish a popping frog and catch fish. Whether if you're fishing a tournament, we kind of sly away from doing the top water thing because you'll catch 25 tiny bass before you catch a good one. So I feel like I'm big on the swim baits, so I use swim baits a lot, big swim baits. I always follow the rule of big bait, big fish, but that always doesn't follow true because sometimes you get a little guy that's hungry. But I always a lot of people get hung up on using the same bait. I definitely don't. If I'm not catching fish, in a spot that I know typically catches fish, I'm switching my bait. I'm switching it up. I'm trying every different kind of method, I don't utilize crankbaits enough. I feel like I should, but it's kind of, when you're catching fish, you try to stick to whatever's working, But if I had to give one method of advice, it'd be don't stick to one thing. Just if you're having a slow day or you're catching one here and there, switch it up. Just give something else a try because you never know.
Yep.
That lure that sits in your tackle box that you never use might catch you a giant, You just never know.
You bought it for some reason.
That's right. That's right. You bought it, utilize it.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm just excited. Gonna keep fishing. Gonna add some. I was thinking about buying. So right now, my boat, I have a 16-foot boat that's kind of good for. I say good for both. Like Mike says, you got to have more than one boat. You're never gonna have one that does everything right. So right now, I hunt out of it, and then I fish out of it too. So I was on the fence about buying a bass boat. kind of setting my boat up now for hunting, and then having a boat for fishing, just for fishing. But right now the market's crazy. I mean, it's like buying a snowmobile in the wintertime. Everybody wants to charge more, so gonna wait. But I'm gonna do some upgrades to my boat and hopefully make my game a little better.
Addi, what kind of you just changed some things up on your end? You've been using a spinning reel for a long time, and now you got a new pole. What did you get?
Well, we used to use these poles when I was like really, really little off the dock, and now and I've been using a different one, and now I'm gonna try to use it again. But it was kind of I had to get used to it again, and we had to like switch the side where I reel up because it was like different.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you got used to fishing with all my spinning reels where you use your left hand to reel, and we bought a new pink Zebco.
Yeah, baby.
So everyone knows it's Addi's, and man, you can't beat those. Like, I casted it a few times, and it's just like so easy to cast. I can cast so far. I don't know if they've changed anything since I was a kid, but it's fun for just going out with the family. But
they're still around for a reason.
Yeah. But we did have to switch up. It came so you would crank on the right side, so we had to take it apart and put it back together. So we did that right on board first time out. She was having trouble reeling, but you broke it in. What was the first fish you caught on that?
Smallmouth.
Smallmouth, I think.
Yeah. So it works.
I caught a catfish on it too.
Yep. So, all right. What are the plans for July? You guys got any more tournaments?
Yeah, we got a little bit of a break. I think we're gonna fish next Sunday. We got another tournament next Sunday, but then after that, we have like a 3-week break before our league picks back up. So, just gonna keep fishing. Gonna go out and fun fish. My cousin from Alaska's home, so we're gonna fun fish a bunch. Kind of bounce around, go to a bunch of different places. So that's my plan.
Cool. And you're on summer break now, Addi. So are you planning on doing?
I want to try to go trolling because we never do anymore. Because it's not like any of my siblings' favorites, and I want to try to troll again.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can make that happen. So I look forward to July and spending some more time on the water with Addi, and our fun text messages back and forth with Luke on who the better angler is, Addi or Luke. So we'll check back in July, at the end of July, and do another report on fishing the Seneca River area.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, gang.
Thank you.